AITA for telling my BF his relationship with his Sil is too intimate and inappropriate? I am a white American woman, 23F, who has been dating an Iranian American man, 24M, for 5 years. We met in high school and have known each other for almost 10 years. He lives with his parents, 60s, and his Sil, 32F, who was married to his late brother. Sil has been in my BF's life since he was 3 or 4, since she met older bro in middle school or something. I thought it was weird that Sil still lives with them, but after her marriage she chose to live with them because she loved her in-laws and my BF as her own family. A couple years after her wedding, she and older bro got into a car accident. She was heavily pregnant, and he died. She lost the baby, and had severe injuries that took a couple of years for her to fully recover from. My in-laws are so dependent on her in every way. She and my BF financially provide and do all the housework since my in-laws are old, have health issues, and are retired. Nothing happens in their house without Sil being asked. My BF even consults with her before taking some time off work since they need to coordinate taking care of in-laws. Sil always makes me uncomfortable and feel inadequate. I feel like I will never belong in the family as a daughter-in-law while she is around. It is frustrating that her husband has been long dead for over a decade and she is still keeping his family tied. I assumed she would eventually move out and get over this by getting married and getting her own life, but the chances seem slim. Sil is also Iranian, and while they all speak in English around me, sometimes my BF and Sil will break into Farsi while telling jokes or being overly friendly. And he looks at her with such admiration and fondness. I don't think he's ever looked at me that way. He also fondly calls her Maman sometimes, which means mom is Farsi. I also found out that Sil sometimes gets dizzy since her accident, and once she fell down the stairs and broke her foot and had a concussion. I went to visit and she looked miserable. Apparently she had complex PTSD from the accident, and getting injured really triggers her. During this time my BF carried her up and down the stairs, and I saw him holding her hair and caressing it while she threw up once. This was the final straw, and I blew up at him later. I told him to stop calling her Maman and being so overly intimate with her. He seemed annoyed and said this is normal in their family and I should stop telling him how to behave in his relationships, since his relationship with Sil is purely platonic. He also called me jealous, which made me angrier. I told him that the two of them seem more like a couple than me and him. I called him incestuous and said his culture is disgusting if this is considered normal. I know it was messed up, but I was just so upset and tired of my concerns being dismissed. That really upset him, and he has not replied to my texts since. My friends think I was in the right, and some said this is what happens when you date a mommy's boy from another culture. But I want an unbiased opinion, so AITA? YTA. He also called me jealous. Well, I mean, if the green-eyed shoe fits. You should probably start calling him your ex-boyfriend since you insulted him, his family, and his culture. Not to mention the fact that you accused him of incest with someone he isn't biologically related to, because you're too insecure to accept that his Sil, who has been in his life since he was a toddler, isn't going anywhere. YTA. Wow. Just wow. I don't have the energy to unpack all the insecurities and weird attitudes you have here. But it's like, all of it, every line of your post. He calls her Maman, for goodness sake. She's a mother figure to him, not a romantic one. I'll repeat, he is affectionate and caring with her because she is like a mother to him. Helping someone with an injury or who is ill is not incestuous. If he doesn't look at you with fondness and admiration, then maybe you two should reconsider your relationship. Given your anger and jealousy, it seems like a good idea from his side to do that. But it's really got nothing at all to do with your Sil. YTA. She's been in his life since he was a child. She was in a horrible accident. One that killed her husband and unborn child. And has found solace in family. They support each other. It is frustrating that her husband has been long dead for over a decade and she is still keeping his family tied. I saw read over this and the sentence that followed. If this is threatening to you instead of beautiful, do your boyfriend a favor and end things now. That's if he ever deigns to speak to you again after the unforgivable things you said. YTA. You've described as unsettling him holding her while she threw up. He's from a culture where family means everything. He will of course always look out for his brother's wife. Nothing sexual or anything. I suggest you walk away as you seem too jealous of him having respect for a lost loved one's wife. You're going to be the reason he goes back to dating Iranian women. You're living up to some embarrassing American stereotypes. Stepping into another culture and immediately judging anything you don't like. Viewing everything from that American lens. Yeah, sorry. But YTA, the way you talk about your boyfriend and his family is absolutely rude and unnecessary. If you think he relied on her too much, then that should have been something to address in private without calling his culture and their relationship disgusting and incestuous. Not to mention that if you already had these thoughts about the family and their culture, there is no way your action and demeanor did not show that to the parent. I am going to try to put into perspective for you and hope it helps. When his brother died and Sil lost both her husband and her child, their whole family was mourning together. Your boyfriend's family was mourning a son and a grandchild with your Sil while she was mourning her husband and her child passing away at once. If her family is not in the picture and the event caused her PTSD, then it would make sense she would rely on them for emotional support. And their bond became stronger. What you are calling a disgusting culture and an incestuous relationship could literally be the result of a 2-decade-long bond throughout and after the marriage. It also does not help that you never listed what the parents' medical condition was or how severe it is for them, because she may be their full-time caretaker to repay their kindness to her for the last 2 decades. Meaning it would make sense to be overly reliant on her. But based on your post and your comments, it a lot of speculation without a lot of explanation from the family themselves. I understand that you have concerns about your relationship. But YTA. Edit. Took out the word year in one part. YTA. She isn't like family. She is family. It sounds like you are jealous. If she left, would you take over all her duties in caring for your BF's parents? I wouldn't be surprised if he breaks up with you for how you are acting. He's not going to choose you over his family. So either respect his family or move on. YTA. She is his family. He's known her since he was a small child. And you're right. You were wrong to slag off his culture just because you don't understand it. At any rate, I guess at least you showed your colors before he made the mistake of marrying you. Your BF has known this woman for most of his life and obviously views her as family. And nothing you describe is inappropriate behavior in that regard. You sound overly jealous of her for no real reason. And you most definitely do not get to dictate her position in the family. In fact, she has already and likely will stay much longer than you ever will. Especially if you continue like this. You also sound not so subtly racist. Get over yourself and do better. Or walk away. YTA. Wow. YTA. An apparently a sentient pile of red flags. Your boyfriend clearly views Sil as another mother figure. And you describe nothing that goes outside of a close, loving, parent-child type relationship. Like, you said he literally nicknames her, Mom. Also, Sounds like Sil kept it together and continued her husband's role in the family after the horrific trauma and loss of the accident. An oldest brother taking over care of family affairs when the parents no longer can handle it is normal in many traditional cultures. And sounds like it's normal to your boyfriend's culture. Sil choosing to honor her dead husband and child by keeping the close connection and fulfilling some of her husband's roles in his tragic absence is a beautiful act of love. If you actually want to keep this relationship, take some time to educate yourself on your boyfriend's culture and learn some basic Farsi. YTA If something happened to my husband, there is not a soul alive that would keep me away from my Mill and Phil. She has been in his life since he was tiny. It is completely unreasonable to expect them to kick her out of their lives, so there is room for you. They are holding on to her for their son just as she is holding on to them for her husband. YTA. You went too far by insulting his family and culture. And his Sil is his family. You said it yourself. She's been in his life since he was little. And still stayed even after brother passed away. There isn't anything sexual about caring for another person. You have to get over your insecurity. Perhaps actually talk to your BF and try to get to know Sil. Unless that's in the past now. YTA This is not incestuous and his culture is not disgusting. You acted in an inappropriate, immature, insecure, insensitive and petty manner. YTA And I'm shocked you wrote this whole post out and still don't see it. I'm from India, and in families where elder brother's wife is a lot elder than you, people do tend to respect them as their mom. It's actually an honor to be revered like that by the husband's siblings and the younger siblings. Spouses are used to that equation. Your BF's Sil being from their country obviously creates a comfort level, and that's common to people from any country. YTA For making a mountain out of a molehill. YTA. Completely. Nowhere in this post is there an example of her coming between you and him, of them being overtly romantic. She's behaving exactly like an older sister would, and he a younger brother. You're clearly just jealous, and feel like you can't live up to their relationship. YTA She is basically his sister. You blew up at him for holding her hair back when she was being sick? Please apologize for overreacting. Seems like you may be jealous of her. She is a bigger part of this family than you are right now. If it's not too late to repair this with an apology to your BF, you also need to get to know the Sil better. Be her friend. You'll learn she is no threat. She does so much work for the family. Can you help out? I'm sure the whole family will appreciate it. Edit. Spelling. It is frustrating that her husband has been long dead for over a decade and she is still keeping his family tied. I assumed she would eventually move out and get over this by getting married and getting her own life, but the chances seem slim. This part is just nonsense. You know nothing about loss of a loved partner. You may think you know what you would do, when in fact you don't know how you would do things until it happens. YTA. And I'm low-key getting some racist vibes from your post. His culture is disgusting if this is considered normal. Especially this comment. It's disgusting to you to support family? Wow, yes, you're absolutely the
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.